Let's get to it. All right. I'm super excited about getting. Are we good? Okay. It doesn't. It says. Okay. All right. There it is, right there. All right, man. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony Glenn, buy and hold investor out of sunny Southern California. I'm excited to bring to you the Real Estate Mastermind show. Let me ping some people into this space. I'm not private, am I? I'm open. Okay. Saeed, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. I'm Anthony Glenn. I'm your gracious host. Come, go ahead and pull up, guys. Pull up, pull up. Get on stage right now. Okay, I am Anthony Glenn. I'm a buy and hold investor out of sunny Southern California. And today we're going to have a real estate mastermind. I'm super excited. I'm going to talk to you guys about anything that you guys need to know about real estate. And I guess what, guys? Today we are dropping a podcast with my brother, Albert is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, we're dropping a podcast. U.S. Marine retired. Actually got out of the Marine Corps early to get on his real estate investing journey. So I'm super excited about having him here today because we're going to be talking about what I want to talk about is starting with is we want to talk about how to become a top producing real estate professional. And we're going to talk about how to invest. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Come to the stage. I want all of you guys on stage right now. Raise your hand, get on stage. And I got another announcement to make. My boy Donovan is part of our Cardone Veterans group, man. So guess what, man? We got a lot of stuff to unpack today. And I'm ready to rock out, man. Let's go to Ian Jensen, and then we're going to go to Albert for a quick introduction.
Good morning, everybody. Name's Ian Jensen. I'm real estate in Southern California. I got a foot in multi-unit investing. That's putting through the BRRRR method right now. What I do is I help out veterans primarily. That's what pays the bills, right? We all are real estate investors down here, so we do everything we can. Our specialty is the VA loan, so we help veterans utilize all the different strategies that we developed to make sure that they get every ounce out of their investment, right? So happy to help everybody, any knowledge I can. But back to you, Tony.
Outstanding. And I got my man Dan is in the building. Shout out to Dan who got awarded for being a top producer, a most improved, I believe. Dan, what award did you get? I know you got something. I can't even remember. I think it was most improved, right?
Yes, it was most improved, Tony.
Outstanding, man. Well, we got a lot of stuff to unpack. So here's the deal, guys. Before we get started, okay, let me give you the rules of engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Winning Real Estate Mastermind. Welcome to the show, guys. I am live on TikTok, Instagram, Christian Mingles, the whole nine. And today we're going to bring some game out to you guys and just talk to you guys about some of the tips and tricks to get you guys into real estate investing. And right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 real estate investors that I know that have been in the game on stage right now. And what I'm going to do is, even though it's our show, I want to start with Ian to tell the people what is it that you do and who you are, Ian, and how many doors do you have?
All right, so
Look, this guy done swipe
I got
left.
I got a call. Sorry. Nope.
Okay,
Primarily, it's real estate sales is what generates income. However, I've taken the money I've made and saved, and then invested in a couple different multi-units
Mm-hmm.
and like kind of a high-end vacation portion of another property. So what happened is I saved some money, bought a duplex. The income from the duplex funded a quick turnaround where I could knock down a fiveplex. And then the duplex has been producing income steady for the last 2.5 years now. So that's like 75 grand. No, excuse me. I got that doubled. So I got about 35 grand that probably came in from that over those 3 years. So that's about, and you think about it in the big picture, that's pretty much what it has to pay for the $30,000 concrete job I got to lay down on that thing next week.
Okay. Now here's the deal, guys. Listen, put a 1 in the chat if you guys could hear Ian coming through on all of the social media platforms, guys. If you guys are on YouTube, put a 1 in the chat, please, because I want to make sure that you guys could hear us. Okay, put a 1 in the chat if you guys are on YouTube and then you guys could hear me speaking and you can hear them speaking. I want to make sure. Anthony, can you check and make sure that we're good to go? Okay, I want to make sure that everybody hears us because we got a new setup. Okay, and we're doing some amazing things. And guys, stick around because listen, I promise you, anytime we have these spaces, you're going to learn something today. Okay, Miss Tillman, so you can hear. Thank you for putting that 1 in the chat. So you guys, actually can hear Ian speaking from Facebook. Okay, out freaking standing, man. All right, without further ado, let's go over to Albert. Albert, can you tell the people who you are and what you do, brother?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Good morning. My name is Albert Ramos, and as Tony knows, I am a coffee connoisseur. Yeah, real estate professional here in sunny Southern California, a real estate investor here in sunny Southern California. Really excited to be here with all of you guys and to see what questions we can answer. Let's go.
Outstanding. Now, Albert, now I have a question for you. Why did you get out of the Marine Corps early? I'm curious to know, like, why didn't you do your 20 years? Can you give us a short analysis of why you did that, and then what journey are you going into? And also, we pass the as soon as you mute your mic, can you put the link in the chat, the ADB podcast, please, if you don't mind?
Yes, 100%. I don't know if I can resume it. I don't know if I can resume it shortly, and I don't want to bore people to death. But essentially, I had to. Me and the Marine Corps were no longer looking eye to eye, in the vision of what I saw that the Marine Corps was going towards the future, and I had already started my Marine Corps or my real estate profession, right? So I transitioned into that, and there was a lot of people. I got out of 14 years in the Marine Corps. There was a lot of people, a lot of naysayers that were saying, "Oh, just do the 6 years. 6 years will pass by quickly, right?" Guys, literally in the 3 years that I've been doing real estate, and then now in less than a year, I probably made my entire gunnery sergeant salary in just since September for the entire year of 2024. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So essentially, what I would have been paid as a gunnery sergeant, E7 active duty in the Marine Corps, including BAH, I already surpassed that amount that I've made in just a couple of months by my Marine Corps career, and that's essentially what I did, man. I took a gamble on me essentially, and it's paying off so far. So yeah, I'll leave it at that, man, because there's way more to it.
Now, see, and the reason why I wanted to share that, guys, is because, listen, man, sales. Put a one in the chat if you guys believe that sales is something that you can use in any industry. Any industry, you need to know sales, okay? I don't care what anybody tells you guys. The top piece of doing any type of uh, uh, investing, you're gonna have to know how to talk to people and communicate. And sales is fundamental and essential to that. What do you think about that, Donovan? What do you think about that? Donovan,
You
we
have
can't.
to convince
Hey,
them.
I'm sorry. This is how you doing, guys? Donovan Gaspard. I'm new to the team, so I appreciate being here, man. I'm super excited. As far as sales is concerned, yeah, man. I mean, my background has always been in sales. I've sold phones, I've sold vacuum cleaners, I've sold flesh, I've sold houses. And when I say flesh, I mean I was an executive recruiter
Man, I thought you was
for
about to say you was a prostitute, man. I'm saying,
Oh
man, don't be
man,
talking about
not
selling no meat
oh
up in here,
man,
not
man. What the hell?
not
Hey,
not my flesh.
this
Hey,
is
pause,
not
pause, pause.
Pornhub, brother.
Jesus Christ!
Lord have mercy,
I
help me.
said flesh. I didn't say meat. Now y'all calm down in there. All right.
Oh my God.
No,
Oh
no.
my God.
Oh my God. But no. Yes, and I live by the ABCs of closing, and that's not always be closing. To me, that's align, bridging, and then closing. Right? You want to align with the customer. You want to bridge the gaps that you have, and then close. Right? And it's really just really closing is just touching on the main points and the triggers and the things that the values that they said they wanted within the product or the service.
I like that, bro. And you know why I feel like that's important, and I think that sales is important is because the cool thing about being in as talking about real estate is that, listen, this shit is not easy, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now, being an entrepreneur is not easy. But you know what I like about it? Anything that's easy, I don't want nothing to do with it, because everything that's hard is rewarding. Put a one in the chat if you believe that. Everything that's hard is rewarding. Let me talk to you guys. And the reason why I want to talk about this stuff, guys, is because each and every person in here can become either a top producing real estate professional or an investor. Okay, that's what we're talking about today. We're going to be telling you tips and tricks that you guys could use to your benefit. Good morning, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok and Instagram Clubhouse. Thank you guys for coming on the show today. This is the Win in Real Estate Show. I am your gracious host, and shout out to my co-host Ian Jensen, Albert, Donovan, and Dan that's coming up here. Guys, I want you to raise your hand. raise your hand and get on stage because we want to talk to you guys. And I see the people that are on. We want to start with some Q&A, guys, because here's what I want to ask the people that are on stage right now before I go to Dan. Okay. What do you believe the biggest challenge with either becoming an investor, or if you were going to give somebody advice, and I want to go through the moderators. If you were going to give somebody advice, what advice would you give them? What advice would you give yourself in regard to your either first sale or your first investment property? And go, the mic is open.
Buy a house today. You should have planted that tree 10 years ago.
Oh, that's a big one. You should have planted the tree 10 years ago. Tell me what you mean by that.
Basically, Dan Robach, when I first got into the real estate sales and the real estate mindset of investing, I was young and I didn't know what I was doing. And it wasn't until I started talking to you, talking to like-minded individuals, to where I actually saw the value and the benefits behind actually investing long-term versus just looking for a place to live.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's good. But I like playing that tree scenario. Who else wants to jump in? That's actually pretty good. And Anthony, Anthony, I have a question. If you could come in here, please, that would be great. But go ahead. Go ahead.
So I actually I have one that it's the motto, essentially what I but what I live by. It's understanding the numbers. And that applies to your profession as a real estate, as a realtor essentially, or as a real estate investor. Obviously, as a real estate investor, it's the fundamental remains the same. You have to understand the numbers. The reason why a lot of people don't quit real estate within the first year or 2 years is because they do not understand the numbers, and then they are stuck in a roller coaster, meaning they close one home, then they don't close a home for 2 months, and then they go and then they close a home, and then they don't close a home. It's because they don't understand the numbers that they need to achieve on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis in order for them to remain consistent and understand what is your a contact to contract ratio. When people understand their contact to contract ratio, that's when they become deadly in any type of industry that they decide to partake in. So understanding the numbers is definitely a very big one that I recommend that everyone starts understanding.
Got you, man. Contact the contract ratio. I like that, man. I really, really like that. Now the reason why I like that is, and shout out to Ellis for coming to the stage, guys. I don't want you guys hanging out in the room and not coming up. I want you to come up, raise your hand, and ask some questions because we want to hear from you. Okay, we want to hear from you. This is an opportunity for you guys to ask questions to real estate investors, commercial, residential, real estate salespeople, mortgage people, anything. We want to know what questions that you may have. So we want as many people on stage as possible. And guys, listen to me. The reason why this is critical for you guys is because we want you guys to win. Okay, so hit that little hand raising button down at the right hand corner. Come on up. Okay, and then we want to rock out with you guys. Now, contact the contract ratio. Ian, I want to go to you, and then I'm gonna go to Ellis next. Tell me what you think about that. Why do you think the numbers are important?
It's speed to close, because that's really the only job that the customer wants what a valuable product as quickly as possible. So you as the agent, that's your job, is order to kind of satisfy that need that they're searching for. And the quicker you can do that and the more efficient your processes can be is ultimately what could make more income in the same amount of time, because we all only got the same 160 hours, right?
I agree with that. And I'm gonna tell you something else too, man. Listen, I think one of the fundamental parts is, yeah, know your numbers, but I think who you're doing it for is way more important than anything else. I think when you when when you go, oh, Lord have mercy. Sorry about that, guys. When you go, we're in a new studio, man. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. But I feel like when you're looking at doing any type of sales thing and you're trying to draw revenue, you need to be negotiating like you're buying your own house. That's the most important thing. I feel like if you negotiate like you're buying your own house, you're never going to have any type of issues with making sales. Why? Because you are actually taking care of that person and making sure that you put that client first. And this is something that a lot of salespeople, what they like to do, and I want to be, can I be honest with y'all? Put a 1 in the chat if I can be completely honest with you guys. Okay, Antronetta, the pill man, I want to know if I can be completely honest with you guys. Completely 110% honest with you, okay? Salespeople are not nice people. They're not. Salespeople only care, majority of the salespeople that are out here that are selling these properties only care about getting that money. They can care less if they're negotiating on deals, because the more, let me tell y'all a secret, the more expensive the property is, the more money they make. But see, this is the deal, guys. And I'm being honest with you guys. I'm keeping it 100 with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It is some nasty real estate professionals that are out there. Nasty. There's some nasty mortgage professionals out there. And if you're not careful, you're going to get your lunch money eaten. I'm telling you. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because I'm in this industry. Salespeople suck. Now, what they don't understand is if they focus on negotiating like they're buying their own property, they're going to okay, you make a sale, you make 10 grand. Okay, you take advantage of that person. You take an L. Okay, especially would you want to do business with a person that you found out that you could have saved some money? Hell no. But if they would have planted that seed in the person and they would have took care of that person and it would have got the person the best deal and they would have made less money, then that person now becomes you. They're a reflection of you. So guys, if you see people out here that are getting out of the industry, it's because they probably weren't taking care of people. You get compensated off of your ability to build a relationship, not because you know how to write a contract. That's easy. Now that I kept it real, I'm going to piss a lot of real estate professionals and a lot of agents off, man. But if you ain't got no sales, it's probably because you're not helping nobody. Man, I don't want to be up here talking to myself. What do you guys think about that? The mic is open, man. Who wants to jump in?
Yeah, Tony, I agree. Whenever there is, and I put it in the chat, and whenever compensation is based on the sales price, there's already a built-in conflict of interest. So that's kind of like the big elephant in the room, right? It's like if somebody's negotiating on your behalf, how do you compensate somebody for getting you the best deal possible when they have to set aside their paycheck and say, well, look, if I negotiate this thing down 20%, right, or 10%, that's going to affect my paycheck. So it's very rare that you're going to find somebody that is truly a fiduciary and looking after your own best interest if they are compensated based on the sales price.
Now, see, and this is the sickening part about it, Albert. I see you got your mic off, man. Because see, this is let me tell you something, man. I'm gonna keep it real. I was in a room with 200 and something realtors. Listen to this crazy story, guys. I was in the room talking to real estate professionals, and they were talking for 2.5 hours about how they were going to get compensated as a buyer, representing a buyer, and they were trying to figure out how they could get their commission built in. And you know what I told them? They was like, so you sold houses to veterans and then you didn't get paid? I said, hell yeah. I'll sacrifice my commission to make a relationship without blinking twice, because stop focused on the money, man. People over profit. Put that in the chat right now. Put the people first, because think about it. If I help a veteran get into a property, that person now becomes me. They're going to tell other people and reflect how they felt within the transaction. I don't give a damn how good you are in real estate. And if you're doing real estate sales and those people are not calling you back, okay, those people are not calling you back asking you questions, it's probably because you didn't do a good job. Now, like I said before, man, guys, let me go ahead and do a quick room reset. And I want to go over to Albert because I want him to talk about this, because this goes into any type of real estate transaction, whether you are, even when I'm investing in a piece of real estate, I don't want to be a scumbag, and I want to make sure that it's mutually beneficial for both parties. Okay? So, and that's how deals get done, man. I want a handshake. Because guess what? That person might be selling or buying a property. I'm working on the behalf. If I'm representing the buyer or the seller, I want to make sure that everybody has mutual agreement. And I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I can tell you guys. I can sit on here for days and tell you horror stories of how there's many people. I just got a text message from. I'm gonna read this message from for you guys after Albert goes, and you're not gonna believe what this agent told us in regard to a veteran investing in a piece of real estate. She basically did not want to present the offer to the seller because it was a veteran buying a piece of real estate. That's a slap in the face, man. Now, Albert, I want you to jump in. What value do you have to add to the conversation, man?
Oh man, a lot, because this is happening to me right now. So right now I got 6 open escrows, and about out of the six, 4 of them I've had to educate essentially the other party on why is it that a VA offer is better than accepting another offer. And I can show you guys a screenshot of one of the listing agents that I talked to her, and I was relentless in educating her on why she should take the offer, the VA offer, and not another offer when she had another offer that was $10,000 above ours. And essentially, like, I'll post it on my Instagram. Essentially, she said it's like, hey, like, you had one, the best follow-up. Second, you describe your client's intentions the best. And third, you connected me with all the right dots whenever it comes to connecting me with your lender, connecting, including your TC. And that gave me a better warm and fuzzy, and I was able to explain that, hey, even though these people are showing or are presenting or saying that they will buy for the higher price, I have a feeling that these people were going to be able to close faster and with a less hiccups. And then guess what? We got the offer accepted. Now, I will tell you this though, going back and circling back around in something that you said, Tony, whenever it comes to working for the veterans, because I'm the same way, and I'm gonna give you guys a little piece of information that is essentially what I'm trying to do in my business, and hopefully, if this applies to you guys, then it applies to you guys, right? All the money that I make from my social media, from monetizing my social media, goes back into my real estate clients. I'm trying to get it to the point where I'm paying closing costs, I'm paying a bunch of stuff because I'm essentially having my social media monetization pay for all those things, right? So that sets me apart automatically from everybody else because I can tap into more money. I can tap into more money for my clients. So essentially, financially, it'll be better for them to go with me. But not only that, man, something that I've learned is you have to also know your worth, because I've been burned a lot of times already by doing what I'm telling you that I'm doing. I've been burned a bunch of times by a bunch of clients that are not grateful and do not see, because they're first time home buyers or whatever, like me against another real estate professional. And you guys, you have to also understand, like, yeah, you're doing all these things, but you have to let them know it's like, listen guys, like, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this because you're a veteran, because I want to ensure that you win throughout the transaction, and then you speak it to everybody else that, you know what I'm saying, like, Albert Ramos is the best real estate professional in the area. Okay. So yeah, that's the biggest thing, because I've been burnt at least 3 times within the past 3 months
And Albert,
of
listen
client.
and listen to this,
Yeah.
brother. Watch this guy. Listen to this. This is the type of stuff that we got to deal with, and this goes right in alignment with what Albert is saying. Okay, listen to this. Thanks for your offer. My seller is likely not to give your buyer 18,000 in closing cost credit. I see that she is pre-approved. The house has been on the market for 96 days. 565. I see the DU and I have the DTI. VA loans are most likely not going to be accepted by this seller. Now, this woman, before she even presented the offer, she's already putting doubt. That property's been on the market for 91 days, guys. Okay? And the offer was written above asking price, and the lady's already denying the offer. Is the person worried about the commission? Or are they worried about submitting the highest and best offer? Now, keep in mind, this property didn't even have any offers on it. So guys, when these people are out here rocking out, Okay, like Albert was saying before, you guys got to make sure that you're dealing with a person who knows what they're doing, because there's a lot of people out here that are focusing on the money. Again, I was in a real estate room, and no offense to anyone, I'm not calling anyone out. I'm not going to tell you what room I was in, but I had 115 realtors trying to figure out how they were going to get paid. So what I did is I looked up some of the agents. I just put their name in Google, looked up some of the real estate professionals. Some of those people didn't even have any sales. They had no sales in the last 12 months. The most vocal one had one. The most vocal agent that was on there complaining had 3 freaking sales. Do a good job, man. Plant the tree. Do a freaking good job and the money will come, man. We focusing on the wrong thing, man. And I'm not bashing real estate agents, because I am one. I'm a real estate broker. Okay. We have 51 agents. Okay. And the hardest part to teach people is people over profit. Okay. Because remember, you have a license to make someone invest in the best generational wealth tool out there. There's only 2 things that print money. Number 1 is going to be real estate, and number 2 is a corporate structure. We're going to get into that after I do the quick room reset. Guys, there's only 2 things that prints money, and you're responsible, and you have a license to do your fiduciary duty so that person gets a deal. Okay? So as we're talking about this stuff, shout out to the 57 people that are on TikTok right now. I appreciate you guys coming in. Heart up. Let me do a quick room reset. Welcome to the Real Estate Show. I have a phenomenal cast today. You guys get to ask any questions that you may have in the chat. Bruno Nascimento just pulled up. Shout out to Ian, Albert, Donovan, Dan, Brother Ellis, Bruno Nascimento, and everybody that's on the stage right now. Guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. For every 1,000, here's the deal. For every 1,000 likes that we get on TikTok, guys, I'm going to unlock another real estate nugget for you guys. So put a fire emoji in the chat if you guys are ready for us to build right now, because we're going to rock out. And I'm going to go over to my man, Ellis. Ellis, thank you for coming to the show. What advice would you give yourself if you could go back in time? Can you give us an example of one of the hardest deals that you had to go through, or relationship that you had to break, or something like that? I know you told us one, but give us another one. We want to know, what advice would you give yourself investing in real estate today? Like if you could go back in time, what was one of the challenges that you had, a mistake that you that you had to overcome in real estate?
Wow, that's a good question and a tough question, because there's so many things that if I could redo it all over again, I would have done it much better. And that's what I always, I give that wisdom to my kids and to new investors as they're, if they ask me, how I can help them. So just at top of mind, one of them was, building relationships early, because when I first started my real estate career, I didn't have a whole lot of confidence. So I always felt that I couldn't, I had that imposter syndrome, like that I couldn't connect with people that were already doing things really well. And the mistake I made is that, you have something to offer no matter where you are, because as you find out, the people in this business, they either have more time than money or more money than time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you could add value, it helps to keep and nurture those relationships. So I've been in this business for over 30 years. So the first couple of years, I didn't feel like I could contribute anything, but I impressed a lot of people with my work ethic and all that stuff early on, because that's all I had to give. I didn't have any money. So if I had kept connections with those people, they would have been instrumental in me raising capital, finding deals, all these things. But because I didn't have the confidence to, truly connect with people, I kind of wasted those connections early on in my life. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was such a great opportunity. I met people that had huge net worths when I was early on in my career, but I felt so intimidated that I didn't think I had anything to offer, but I did, because I had a lot of time and no money, and they had a lot of money but no time. So that's one thing that just comes to mind. But I could write a novel on stuff that I wish I could do over again, but that's just one of them.
That's really good, man. Like everybody, I'm gonna tell you what I heard, guys. And for those of you that are in the room today, I want you guys to come up on stage. I see Joseph, a familiar face, Dr. J, Lori, Kev. Can you guys hit the hand raising button? Come on stage, please. And guys, if guys are on TikTok, you want to ask a question, and we're gonna talk about this. I want you guys to do me a favor. Listen, let me tell y'all something. The easiest way to learn how to invest in real estate is to help someone investing in real estate. I'm going to say that again. The easiest way to learn how to invest in real estate is to help a real estate investor invest better. How do you do that? Send referrals. How do you do that? Call, ask if you can help them. How do you do that? Share, like a post. How do you do that? Comment on a YouTube channel. Anything. Support the people who you want to emulate. What do you guys think about that? The mic is open. What do you guys think about that? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys think that's good advice. If I could give myself any advice when I got started in real estate, I would help those people that I wanted to be like. Because giving somebody something and not expecting anything in return, right, is the way to go. And let me give you guys a quick example. I did not ask Grant for money. I did not ask Grant Cardone for any money. I got my partnership with Grant because I asked. I told him I want to bring more veterans into. I will bring more veterans into your community for exchange on how to invest in multi-units at a better level. I had already knew a concept of it, but I had never done anything over any really big deals. I'd done residential, done commercial, done strip malls, all that other stuff, but I had never done a really big deal like 120 units, 150 units. So I wanted the information, but I did not ask for money. Okay. And guess what? That led to our partnership with him today. Okay. And and guess what? That first event that we did with Grant, you know what he did? He paid for the event. We didn't pay anything. We didn't pay 1 red cent. And you know what he said? We've been looking for somebody like you to help us reach more veterans. How can we help you? He did not, what's crazy about this is this manifested right here on Clubhouse. You're not going to learn how to be a big investor unless you're asking the questions and helping. Okay? So here's what I'm going to ask you guys to do. Who has a question about real estate that they would like to propose? Whether it be real estate sales, investing, becoming a top producing agent, starting a mortgage company. Who has questions? Because guys, we want to pour into you guys today because I believe the more people that we help get to where we're at, the bigger and better that we're going to be. But you're going to have to put the work in. You do not deserve to be where Ellis, Ian, Bruno, all of these people are at unless you're willing to do the work. There's no other way. You have to do the work, right? And you have to help. You want more money? Help more people. Okay? It's a very simple concept. Who has value to add to the conversation? Who wants to jump in? Well, what I just said. Nobody? No questions? Going once?
Yeah, well, hey, Tony.
Hey, Andrea.
Yes, hey, how are you? I mean, that's one of the reasons why I always show up because I'm not a real estate investor, but I see the vision, a few years down. That's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I always put it out there like, if anyone ever needs help, I'm willing to help. I'll do it for free. I don't care. Like, that's the thing. When you want to up level your energy, you're going to give and you're going to learn to receive as well. you know so I'm a firm believer in supporting the community that you want to be a part of and that you're a part of as well. So
I love that, right? So, and
I got a question for you.
Go ahead, jump in, Ian.
This one's what would you recommend? So, say here's a scenario: household makes 100 grand a year total.
Mm-hmm.
Would you invest? Would you recommend they invest in a business or invest in real estate?
Okay, here's the question. I'm going to yield the mic to Bruno, okay? And then I'm going to go next. Would you invest in a business or would you invest in real estate? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys would invest in a business. Put a 2 in the chat if you would invest in real estate. I want to see where you guys are at. If you guys are on the live right now, that's the question on the stage, on the floor right now. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys would invest in business. Put a 2 in the chat if you would invest in real estate. Let's see what you guys got. All right, let's see what we got here on TikTok. Okay, so we got a lot. We got people that say that they would invest in a business. Okay, all right. Okay, it's mixed. Okay, all right. Now, okay, so who would like to answer that question? Go ahead, jump in, Bruno.
Yeah, man. So I think for me, what I would do, right, and I think like looking back, right, and it goes in line with the question you asked, Ellis, like, hey, what would you do different, right, and stuff like that. I would start in real estate, man. Because I think that real estate is the thing that you can throw your money at, right, and in itself, it will start to print money. It will start to give you capital that a lot of times to start a business, other than a business plan and an idea, right? It's a lot more helpful if you have capital to help with your business. So I think that if I have money, right, the first thing that I would do between the two is I would throw it at the real estate, and then I would leverage the equity and the opportunities that the real estate will create for me to then be able to use that to generate my bit, or to to invest more into my business. But it's not to say that you can get into real estate and not start working on your business, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that you guys can do for free that require no money, and it all starts by you guys joining the Facebook group. You like that? You like that little pitch?
I like that, guys. I like that, guys. So check it out, guys. For those of you that are on the lives right now, if can y'all do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat if you guys are enjoying this conversation. Again, let me do a quick room reset. Welcome to the Win in Real Estate Show. I am your host, and shout out to Ian, Donovan, Dan, Ellis, Bruno, Joseph, Andrea, and my boy Albert that jumped on the live. He had to roll out, but he'll probably be back in here. Make sure you guys give them a follow. Above my head, I'm going to ask you guys to do me a favor. If you'll see on Clubhouse, you'll see the Real Estate Mastermind. I want you guys to give me a scale to 1 to 10. Vote me on a scale to 1 to 10 on how you guys like my new studio. Okay. Click the link above my head. Look at me on live because I'm live on YouTube. And I want you guys to tell me what you guys think. Leave a comment. Okay. And the reason why I'm asking you guys to do that is because right now we got a new setup. Okay. Right after this, guys, on this live, I am going to be interviewing the first female Marine Corps mortarman. Okay. I don't know if you guys know how big that is, but she's going to be coming on the YouTube channel right after we get off of this. And we're going to be talking about, how hard it was for her to go through that. Okay. She's the first female Marine Corps mortarman, and she's on her way to the office. Okay. And then I'm going to be interviewing her and talking to her about, her process with doing that. And if you guys don't know anything about mortarman, that's a predominantly male. It's always been a male position. Okay. That's the actual fighting division of the Marines, right? We call them grunts, right? So for her to be able to achieve that, and we're going to be discussing that, and I think she's getting out of the Marine Corps, but we're going to be, I'm going to be interviewing her and just keeping it real, man, because a lot of changes has been going on with our military, and we're going to discuss that here in about 30 minutes or so. But here's my answer. Okay. I would always pick real estate over a business. Why? Because people need real estate. People don't need a business. That's why. I would always go real estate first. And this is the reason why. Real estate is a tangible asset. I can start a business without owning anything. And a real estate is a business. So you can knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. When you buy that piece of real estate and you put tenants in it, and now it's a business. Now you have depreciation. Put that in the chat, the word depreciation. Depreciation. That means whatever you pay for the asset, divide by 27 and a half years. And commercial real estate, Ian's going to tell me that answer. How long can I depreciate commercial real estate? And let's give a formula. Okay.
I got it. Oh, sorry. You want me to run the numbers real fast?
Yeah, run the numbers.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. So this is an example that I always kind of do it in terms of either like 500 or 1 million, because usually that's like it's kind of on the bell curve, right? That's the most common kind of purchase price. So what I do is a 500,000, you divide by 27 and a half. And I know this number, it gives you 18,181. All right. So if you own a $500,000 piece of real estate, you get an $18,000 expense off the top every single year that you didn't have to write a check for.
For 27 and a half years, guys. So the reason why we're telling you this stuff is because if I had to pick from 1 or 2, I would pick 1, and I would pick 1 because I would pick 1, and I see what you just said, Ellis. I know the formula is a little bit different. It's the actual piece of real estate. So you would deduct the land and the value of the property. That's what you depreciate. Right? Oh, I said it. I think I said it before you did. So whatever the land value is, the actual structure, the useful life, you cannot depreciate land. Okay. You can only depreciate the structure. Okay. So if you had a property that is $600,000. Okay, and then you look on the tax thing, and it gives you the value of the property when you buy it. You take that land, you take that property, and you divide by 27 and a half years, and that's your depreciation schedule. Okay, so now for commercial real estate, it's different. You can accelerate depreciation. That means that you could actually take that depreciation up front. Okay, you could amortize. You could take amortize depreciation. You could do a bunch of things, but the reason why real estate allows you to take those big tax breaks is because property taxes is what local municipalities pay for. Now, I'm going to yield the mic over to anybody who wants to talk about that. Ellis, I want you to jump in. What do you think about that? What do you think about the accelerated depreciation or leveraging commercial real estate for depreciation? You want to jump in and rock out for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you can do it for either category. It just when you're doing things like cost segregation, it tends to be more cost effective to do it for larger properties and commercial properties. But you can do it for residential investment property as well. It just you have to balance the cost of doing it properly with a residential property like a single family versus like a hotel or something, right? A hotel is going to be easily a great savings to accelerate depreciation. But I mean, depreciation is one of the biggest giveaways that's in the tax code that not a lot of people know about, and that's how wealth is built, is because they are, the power of real estate is you're depreciating your income, which is spendable dollars, right? I mean, that's spendable dollars you get from the offset of depreciation.
Bingo, 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 guys. And guys, standing behind me is the first female mortarman in the United States Marine Corps.
No, that's wrong.
Oh.
That's wrong. I'm not. No, I'm not. I was the first to go through the advanced school on the West Coast.
Advanced school. Okay.
Advanced school on the West Coast.
Okay, on the West Coast. Okay, so we're going to be interviewing her in about 15, 20 minutes, okay? And then she's going to tell us the real, okay? Guys, so click the link above my head. You will see, okay, she is in the studio, and then we're going to be going in the other studio, and we're going to be going live. And you guys get to go down the live and ask any questions. So click the link above my head. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's going to be coming down range. And for one, I want to say thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And I look for, and your dad has been telling me, he's like, get my daughter on the show, man. She's so awesome. So, I'm excited to talk about that here shortly. All right. All right. So y'all want to go ahead and get set up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Awesome, guys. So listen. Guys, I'm telling you right now, man, look, what we're doing here, man, is we want to give people voices, man. Like, this is the type of stuff that we want to do. Like, we're going to give you the game that we want to give you the real estate game, man, so you guys can get in and win, man. There's so many people that are afraid to invest in real estate, and it's not that hard, man. Okay?
Hey, Tony, you know that whole thing that you just talked about with the depreciation, I don't know if people understand the power of that. So if we have a property that's generating $100,000 in net income, and you have $100,000 offset of depreciation, guess how much taxes you're paying on that?
Zero.
Exactly. And that's why, when people actually get the light bulb, I don't know why they're not going out and learning stuff from you and how to get started in real estate, because how else can you earn $100,000 and not pay a dime of taxes on it? I mean, that's so powerful. When you hear a lot of people that have high paying jobs that are complaining about taxes, you don't hear about it with real estate investors, right? Because they know the secrets.
And man, and that's what we want to talk about, guys. Like, so the power of depreciation, like, nobody on the app is really talking about it in depth, like understanding why this is so powerful. You got a doctor that's a W-2 employee to that, to that practice. He makes $180,000. What is that? 32% or 38% tax bracket? What is that? Who could tell me?
Hold on, I'll look it up.
Let's do some quick math. I'm trying to figure this out, man. So these people that are out here making, even if you make $100,000, put a 1 in the chat if you believe $100,000 is a lot of money. W-2 job, $100,000. Is it a lot of money? Put a 1 in the chat. If it is, put a 2 in the chat if it's not. Put a 1 in the chat. And Bruno, I got a question for you, Bruno. Can you do me a favor?
100,000 household or $100,000 per person?
$100,000 income, one person.
Okay, one person. So a $200,000 household.
Ian, man, why you got to make stuff so complicated, bro?
Oh,
Please
anyway,
just look up.
20%.
All I want you to
hey,
do is look up what tax bracket am I in if I make $180,000. Okay. So, and guys, we're friends. You know, we rock out. We crack on each other. Okay. So this is my brother, right? This is my right hand partner. Okay. So the reason why we're bringing this information to you guys is because this is the type of stuff that a lot of people don't know. Bruno, are you here? Bruno, I got a question for you.
Send it.
Okay, if Anthony Glenn bought a property in the United States for $450,000, which is the medium home price at the beginning of COVID, a single family home, how much would my property be worth today on average? Can you tell me how much my property would have appreciated pre-COVID 2019 to 2024? Can you tell them how much equity I would have today?
Yeah, let's see this. So we're looking at an average of about 16%. So if you're at 450, right? 16%, that's 72,000. So we're looking at on average that property, so that's per year, Jesus Christ. So now 72,000, and then we're talking from 2020 to now, right? So that's times four, 450. Holy shit. So we're looking at $738,000.
Okay, so now let's talk about what he just did. Okay, that's let's talk about this what he just did, and we're going to talk about these numbers so you guys can understand it. Okay, so all we're gonna do, let's do. I like to do math. Put a one in the chat if you guys want to explain what he just did. This is just a. This is just. Let's go with investment. Put a one in the chat if you guys want an example of an investment property bought in 2019, and you want a single family home bought in 2019. Let's go over these numbers real quick, okay? So now we're gonna go $450,000, and then you're gonna divide that by, let's just say the value of that property was 400,000. Okay, and the land was 50,000. So 400,000 is the actual. This is just a scenario. You bought that as an investment property 2019. Okay, can somebody on stage tell me why values are still going up and interest rates are high? Can anybody tell me that? Give me
The
why.
demand.
Okay, what's the first one?
Demand's still there. So demand, you have low inventory, but the demand is high.
Okay, low inventory and the demand is high. Can you tell me two compensating factors of why there's low inventory, Bruno?
I mean, I think we're still trying to catch up from everything that happened during COVID, right? So we weren't able to to build homes at the rate that we normally do. So I think that had a big effect on the shortage of homes that we're seeing now. We're still trying to catch up to that because of everything that happened then.
That's a perfect one. So right now we're America is approximately around 6 million houses short right now. Okay, 5 to 6 million houses short. Okay, I can't remember if it's 5 or 6 million. So that means that the demand for properties are still high. Ian, Donovan, anybody else want to? Ellis, what's another compensating factor of why there's no inventory?
You've got the low interest rates that people have locked in that they don't want to lose by selling their property.
Oh man, that's a
that's
perfect
the
one, man.
elephant in the room right there.
That right there, my friend.
Yep. If they
That one.
sell, they got to buy somewhere else, and they do not want to pay that high interest rate in comparison.
Bingo, bingo,
Yeah, but
bingo, bingo. Can you unpack that a little bit more, Ellis? And make sure you guys give Ellis a follow, okay? All right. So can you unpack that a little bit more? Well, give us an example.
Okay, I'll give you an example. So I live here in Southern California. So the average price here, say it's like $1 million for a house. And if somebody bought that house and they got a 2 or 3% mortgage, if they bought it a couple of years ago, and then they decide, hey, we've got so much equity now in this thing, we could sell it. But if I go and I move, I have to go rebuy a house at a 7% interest rate. So, how many people are like that all over the United States that have bought a house with a low interest rate? And if they try to rebuy the same or equal house, they have more than double the interest rate. So they're like, you know what, we're good. We're going to stand pat. We're going to, live our life out here in this house and pay the 2 or 3% or whatever that low interest rate is for the next 30 years. So that essentially, it removes the motivation to want to go buy another house. So the whole move up market is kind of at a standstill because of that. And that's like Ian was saying, that's the elephant in the room. That's what's creating a lot of the shortage of inventory, because there's a lot of people that say, you know what, I'm good. I'm good paying 2 or 3% interest rates. I don't want to go buy another house and have a much higher mortgage rate and not have the comfortability of having that low interest rate anymore.
That's it right there, guys. Listen, that right there is the part. Why list your property and then go into another property where the interest rates double? People. So we have low inventory. We got high demand, supply and demand. Now Bruno just touched on. He touched on that. Right. Well, he touched on the inventory issue. So now when you're looking at these scenarios, there's a couple of, so any real estate investor will know. And then Ian likes to tell us this all the time. Ian, what is the fundamental piece of, what is the piece that, what's happening this year that a lot of people are overlooking?
Oh, this is my personal speculation, so don't hold me accountable to it. But like, my guess is that the interest rates will, be more affordable come to, closer to the election, probably late summer, right when, everyone's kind of rushing towards, getting something in before the kids start school. So that way, I mean, it's something I see it's happening just because everyone wants to look good when they're getting under review, right? So either way, I see it as a more affordable real estate market in the future. So I find it that I've been counseling my buyers that it's a bit more of a predictable budget. If you can buy now at what you can afford, obviously don't overextend yourself. But in the future, when rates become more affordable, all you got to do is get in line and talk to your lender, and they'll process your mortgage, and that kind of saves you the competition frenzy that's I'm expecting to be um, more busy. I'm expecting a more competitive real estate market this summer.
So, and this already starting to heat up. Okay. So let's go over these numbers real quick. So 400,000 divided by 27 and a half years. Can you do that for me? Who wants to put a 1 in the chat if you guys want to be my calculator real quick, because I want you guys to do this with me so you guys get an example of what I'm talking about. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys want the example of what we're talking about, guys. Let me do a quick room reset. Welcome to the show, the Winning Real Estate Show. Ellis already got the calculator ready. So that means you get a $14,545 tax deduction, tax credit. Oh, you get to write that off, okay? Every year for 27 and a half years if you bought a single family home in 2019. Okay? So not only do you get the tax deduction each year, okay, from writing that off, that's the depreciation schedule. Number 2 is the appreciation schedule. Okay? Yes, personal residence for a single family home. If you bought a single family home, okay, so Ellis, maybe I said that wrong. Okay, if you put a tenant in, we're talking about an investment property. We're not talking about mortgage and interest tax deduction. So let me be clear, okay? We're talking about an investment property. If you live in the property, it's not an investment home. That's an owner occupancy home, okay? If you're buying an investment property, okay, 2019, you bought a property. We're giving 2 examples. You bought a single family home, okay? You put tenants in it. It's an investment property. You decided to create a company, an LLC. Now you hit 2 birds with 1 stone. I think Bruno said that over the past 4 years, it's been an appreciation schedule of how many? What's the percent? 16%?
About average of about 16% across the board, right? So like national statistic, we're looking at about 16%. Obviously, some markets are going to be really, really high. Some markets are going to be lower, but the average 16%.
Let's even go even lower. Let's go 9%. Let's do 9%. So let's take that property. You bought it for 400,000. Divide by multiply by 9% equals, what's that, Ian?
Like $4,700.
Okay,
Double check
so
it.
yeah, I want to do it real time so you guys can get an example of the appreciation. That means that what you pay for the property and what the value going up 9% year over year for the past 4
Yeah,
years.
9% is 9% on 500,000 is 45,000.
Okay, so now multiply that times 2019 to 2024. How many years is that? 36 grand. Right? I don't have my calculator. You're supposed to be helping me out,
No,
bro.
times 4. 45,000 times 4 is 180 grand.
So 180 grand. If you would have bought a home, if you would have bought an investment property in 2019 and your property going up in value, okay, year over year, 9%, that's 180 G's. Not to include what you paid down on the property from the mortgage. Not to include the depreciation of the property. So when you're looking at these things in investing, guys, it's not just how much money I can make. Okay, it's culminating how much money you can make. What is the value going to go up? Okay, and then there's still a demand for properties. Okay, so I got a couple of questions. Let's ask these questions real quick. My class starts in 4 minutes. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Hope your minds are blown. Thank you for pulling up. What determines the property appreciation? How does that percentage come about? Okay, Mr. Rush. Okay, so Mr. Rush has a question I'm going to throw on the floor from TikTok. Thank you for asking that question. He says, what determines the property appreciation and how does that percentage come about? Can anybody tell me on stage right now? How does appreciation come into play?
So we're talking about the increase of the value of the property over time, right? So how we come up with that number, right, is going to be obviously, it's going to be market specific. So the number that we came up with was just an average when we're looking at the different markets across the nation, right, to see what is the average amount. But the way that it comes about is you're looking at how the values of home go up over time.
That is correct. Okay, so here's a couple of compensating factors, and I'll answer that question for you. Economical factors is what determines that. Okay, number one, supply and demand. Number two, investment in development, interest rates, turnover. There's a whole bunch of compensating factors that determines what the average is. But if you look at it, typically you can figure out projections based off of where you live. So, Mr. Rush, what zip code are you in? Okay, he's going to put it in the chat. But if you go scarcity, transferability, utility, and demand, that's going to determine that. But housing policies, interest rates, there's a whole bunch of stuff that determines, the value of property. But location and supply and demand are three big ones. Okay, 38128. Put that in your zip code and say, what is the projected increase in value of homes in that zip code? And then you'll get an average. Okay, so guys, we're going to keep this show short. Does anybody have any questions or comments that they would like to share? Any questions or comments they would like to share? All right, let me do a quick room reset. Welcome to the Real Estate Show. Thank you guys for pulling up on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Appreciate you. Ian, I'm going to come right back to you. Okay, shout out to the people that are on stage right now. Guys, listen to me. If you're on the live right now and you guys want to get on a free consultation call with us, I want you guys to text this number. Text WIN to 760-385-8211 if you want to get on a free consultation call with us so we can help you win. Again, 760-385-8211 where we help you win. Now, I do want to see what Ian has to say. And I see Milu B came up and Andrea. Joseph, thank you for coming. Flash your mics if you guys have a question or comment that you would like to close us out with. Go ahead, Ian, jump in.
Hey everybody, so just wanted to throw a little clarity too, because a lot of people think that in the last, if you didn't buy a couple years ago, that you totally missed the bus. But that's not the case. Like the example that Tony just used of 9% over the last 4 years, that's somewhat, I think that's below average too, because over the last 4 years, I think the whole market's gone up 25, 30% in some areas, if not more. I saw somewhere that Boulder year over year grew 50%, something crazy. So, but it doesn't mean that you are missing out. It's just, it shows this stuff takes time. And, you got to get in the race in order to finish. Back to you, Tony.
And I'm glad that you said that, guys. Put a fire emoji in the chat if you guys enjoyed this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Win in Real Estate Show. We will be doing these rooms every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And on Wednesdays, we'll be doing 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 9. And guys, listen to me. If you guys want information on how to win, again, text WIN to 760-385-8211. And one of our staff members will sit down with you and give you a free consultation. Because here's the deal, guys. You can't win if you don't take no shots, man. There's a lot of people who want to invest. Kyla Majors, I see you came on stage. The only way that you're going to be able to get in the game and actually shoot a long ball, right, and hit that scoring game winning shot is that you got to get in the game and stop being afraid. The more real estate that you have, the longer you keep it, the more your assets are going to grow, and the more tax deductions that you have. There's no other better investment than real estate. I don't care what anybody tells you. Okay, Ellis, I see you have a save round. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to emphasize, Tony, that if real estate goes up 10%, but you only put 10 or 20% down on that piece of real estate, what's your real rate of return now? So you're really getting incredible returns, not just the appreciation of the real estate, but because you have positive leverage, you're getting some incredible rates of return. And that's another powerful tool of real estate that people don't really dig deep into. So, you got to emphasize that too, Tony, because that's really powerful.
It is, Ellis, and it's so many things that you guys can we can unpack here. And guys, if you guys are enjoying the show, put a fire emoji in the chat. Do me a favor, guys. I really need y'all's help. Can y'all click the link above my head? Okay, you'll see the YouTube channel, the SITREP YouTube channel, and just put a comment on my live right now because that's going to help. Guys, we are really, really close to hitting our next level. We only need 6 more, okay, subscribers to our YouTube channel. Just six more, okay, to break over to the next threshold of the revenue share that we get from having that. So if you guys could do me a favor, click the SITREP YouTube channel, click that link above my head, and then leave a comment. Okay, watch a couple of things. There's a lot of nuggets in there. How to set up trust, how to underwrite properties, how to set up your LLCs, how to hire your children. All of this stuff is there and it lives free. Okay, it's the SITREP YouTube channel. If you see it, you'll see the link above my head. And I'm about to interview a really, really awesome young lady here in a little bit. Okay, and if you guys want to be on the show, hit us up because we wanna hear your story. I see Kyla, Miss Majors. Did you have a question or a comment? How can we help you win? Welcome to the show, Kayla Majors.
Hey there. Sorry, my screen wasn't on Clubhouse. How y'all doing today?
How are you doing
Good.
today? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm having a great day. It's I'm sorry if my service may not be right. I'm trying to get to the right area. But it's super sunny today in Miami. So I've been spending most of my morning outdoors and I'm about to find somewhere to work outdoors because it's just too nice to be inside. Since I did get invited on stage, thank you so much. I'll go ahead and ask you a question on how I can win with these three vacant lots that I purchased in a residential area in Indianapolis that I should be having the documents to make them fully officially mine in a few weeks. So I really was thinking about developing because they're in between houses. But I just want to know what would be your advice on where to start with that kind of endeavor.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. So, all right. So I'm gonna yield the mic to Bruno and Ellis, and then I'll go last. Or Ian. Anybody who wants to jump in, Donovan, she has vacant lots. Okay, they're in Miami. Okay, and you're about to own them, and then you are
I'm
looking
sorry, they're in Indianapolis.
in Indianapolis. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And you have an opportunity to, well, first and foremost, can we put a congratulations in the chat for this sister right here making moves right now? You know what I'm saying? I love it, man. Let me tell you why I love this because, listen, man, what is on the front of a puzzle box, Miss Majors?
Um,
The picture.
okay, there we go.
The picture. Okay. The picture's on the front of a puzzle box. Now you're going to reverse engineer and see what is the highest and best use that can utilize for these lots. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Ellis first, and then all you gotta do is dump the puzzle out. You got the first part done. You got the land. Okay, so Ellis, go ahead, jump in. What advice would you give her? She's got these lots in Indianapolis. What advice would you give her?
Do you have any indication of what the value is as is versus what you paid for it?
Yes.
Okay, so you have a couple options here. You can, list the lots if you have an upside to it already, and you can sell it right away or sell one of them. I would immediately let the adjacent property owners know that you're entertaining offers for this because they might have one of the most benefits of owning an adjacent lot. So I would do that. But if you want to fully develop it, that's going to take some expertise. I would definitely have somebody boots on the ground that has experience in developing, because that takes some expertise to do that. And the first one is always going to be a learning experience, and you got to be very, very careful if you've never done this before. Do you own these lots free and clear?
I will in the next week or two.
Okay. So yeah, so basically the thing is you got to make sure you have a good handle of what is allowed to be built on there, so you can get the highest and best use. And once you determine what the highest and best use is, then you can work backwards to say, okay, what's my cost going to be to deliver that highest and best use, and what is my spread, or my net possible profit for going through all the things that you have to do to get it. Carrying costs, construction costs, uh, permit costs, all that stuff, and pencil out, is it worth it for you to do the heavy lifting, or is it better off that you sell them right away? So these are things that you have a decision tree to decide what's the best way to monetize this opportunity that you've created for yourself. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just have to be very, very cautious about developing, because developing is not, it's not rocket science, but it's definitely not easy.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. So I have a little bit of, there is no right and wrong answer. Just know that. Okay. What I would do is I would go option A, option B. That's it. You got one or the other. Option A is keep, see what the value is. Option B would be to develop and reverse engineer how you're going to get it and how much money the property can generate, and see if you want to get into that, and how long, what's your timeline, so you can do the carrying costs. So let me give you an example. Okay. Number one, if you have the revenue, this is if you have the revenue. Okay. I would call an engineer. Okay. Go down to the city and see what that property could be developed for. Okay. Get some plans drawn up. Okay. With a architect. Okay. And then see what you can, how you can develop the property. Okay. If it's single family homes or commercial real estate, you spend the money and see what the potential use of the property could be. And then see how much money that property can generate. And you can either do it yourself or you can get investors.
And you can go to the city too and see what's capable there for free before you even start having to pay professionals.
Right. So that's
Okay.
so that's the first thing. I got this land. What can I use it for, and how much it will it cost for me to build these lots? Okay, and then I already have the plans done, and I already have the engineer tell me, I got a scope of work to see what it would cost to develop those properties. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something that you can do, right? Because you might want to build them and keep them.
I like what you're saying, Tony,
Mm-hmm.
because what you're conveying is that there's different value adds along the way. You have the as is value, you have the value after you get it entitled, you have increased value if you have it entitled and permitted. You have so you have definite exit points along the way, or you could go all the way, develop it yourself or joint venture, and then hold the property or flip it. But I like what you're saying, Tony, because there's increases of value along the way as you add things like entitlements,
There you go.
permits,
Yep.
architectural drawings, etc. So yeah, that's excellent. Excellent.
Yep. And the reason why I talked to because see, now what we're doing, we're dumping the puzzle out, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
then if I'm an investor and I see land and I don't know what I can build on it, it's going to be easier for you to sell the property if you have plans also. So
Mm-hmm.
if you do decide to sell it, so and there's a million and one ways to do this stuff. But what I would do is I would see what the highest and best use is for the land, and see what opportunities that you have, and then envision if you want to take on the responsibility of doing it yourself, or to get the experience, or JV, or you could sell it. So
Mm-hmm.
that you have the puzzle piece back, and then Kayla, here's what we're going to do. We want to know with it now. The biggest thing that you want to do is
Mm-hmm.
put a timeline on your decision.
Okay.
Okay. That's one of a lot of people do not do when they get stuff. And then they're just, oh, I'll just get to it. Okay. And all the time you're paying property taxes on the land. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
so put a timeline on after I get that property, I will put a 60-day timeline, and I will put a 6-month timeline on what I want to have started or completed. Okay.
Yes.
Does that make sense? And
Yes.
that starts with a plan, an action plan. Did I answer your
Okay.
question?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Here
I'm
we
so
want to
excited.
stay in contact with you. Okay, so do me a favor, text us this number. Ian, can you put it in the chat? Text WIN to 760-385-8211 because we want to follow you on this journey. Okay, and then
Okay.
we'll be in Miami next month too. Me, Ian, Bruno, and a couple of other people. So you'll have an opportunity to meet us face to face.
Okay. Awesome. I look forward to that.
All right,
Thank you
outstanding.
so much for all your help.
You got it. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Indianapolis.
Okay, got you. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so make sure that you hit us up. Okay,
Okay,
so
I sure will.
okay, Ishman, what question do you have? How can we help you win in real estate?
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Oh, no, I was just listening. I kind of came in on the tail end, so I'm just kind of like listening. I'm gonna have to catch you early the next time, Tony. Thanks, though.
Outstanding, guys. Well, listen, guys, this has been a phenomenal room. Make sure you follow all of the moderators: Ian, Dan, Ellis, Bruno, and then my boy Albert. He's not here right now, but make sure you look him up, give him a follow, and guys, click the link above my head. Okay, he just showed me his muscles. Hit the link above my head. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. We're doing some phenomenal stuff, guys. If you guys want to get in contact with us, again, text WIN. If you got a scenario or that you want us to look at, guys, we'll be doing these shows on a regular basis. Make sure you guys hit the follow and subscribe button on the YouTube channel, and then also on TikTok. Make sure you guys give us a follow. We will be dropping nuggets. Listen, this is what we're going to be talking about next time: how to structure a corporate structure, and we're going to be talking about when you buy property, how you're going to run the money and start establishing yourself with business credit. So you don't want to miss that. Those are the two topics that we'll talk about next time. So hit that subscribe button to the YouTube channel. And guys, we will see you guys tomorrow. Okay. And Thursday, remember, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be back on the Win in Real Estate show. And we appreciate you guys for pulling up. All right. Have an outstanding day, guys.